हिस्ट्रियोनिक वेरी ड्रामेटिक। हुलीगन मतलब ए नॉइजी रफ पर्सन हु कॉजेस ट्रबल। हॉर्टिकल्चर द आर्ट ऑफ गार्डन कल्टीवेशन। हॉस्पिटैलिटी रिसीविंग गेस्ट्स वार्मली। हब the central part of a circular object such as wheel or propeller. Hutch a den for small animals. Hypercritical excessively critical. Hypochondriac a person who thinks he or she is ill all the time. Hypothesis assumption that is made based on some evidence or facts. Iconoclast one who opposes settled institutions or beliefs. Idolatry the worship of idols or images. Idealism practice of forming and following ideas. Practice of forming and following ideals. आशीर्वाद आइडियलिज्म मतलब। Ideology set of ideas at the basis of certain economic or political systems. विचारधारा ideology. Idiosyncrasy a person's peculiar habit. Idiosyncrasy a person who is sick. Invalid one who maliciously sets fire to a building. Incendiary urge someone to act in a violent or unlawful way. Insight teach to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. यकीन दिलाना. Indoctrinate यकीन दिलाने के लिए हुक्म है. Indoctrinate one who cannot pay one's debts. Insolvent one who comes into a foreign country to settle. Immigrant shamelessly rude. Impudent a cluster of flowers on a branch. Inflorescence that which cannot be conquered. Invincible incapable of being burnt. Incombustible impossible to describe. Ineffable someone not fit to be chosen. Ineligible to force someone or something to experience something unpleasant. Inflict interval between two events. Interlude to die without having made a will. Intestate that cannot be seen. Invisible that cannot be seen. Invisible call upon God or any other power like law for help or protection. Invocation existing only in the mind. Imaginary to delay or prevent someone or something by obstructing them. Impaired free from infection. Immune living forever. Immortal incapable of being perceived by touch. Impalpable which cannot be prevented. Impenetrable which cannot be perceived by sense. Imperceptible policy of extending a country's empire and influence. Imperialism not showing proper respect. Impertinent lack of respect or religious reverence. Impiety the action or state of being involved in something. Implication that cannot be measured or calculated. Imponderable one who assumes a character or title not his own but to deceive others. Imposter too strong to be overcome or defeated. Impregnable one who organizes a ballot a concert, a theater, or an opera. Impresario, not clearly expressed but implied. Implicit, careless about the future. Improvident, exemption from punishment. Impunity, incapable of being reached. Inaccessible, that which cannot be admitted or allowed. Inadmissible, that cannot be heard. Inaudible, a thing that motivates or encourages someone to do something. Incentive, something that is difficult to understand. Incomprehensible, designed to cause fire, likely to cause violence. Incendiary, lacking of skill. Ineptness, which cannot be compared. Incomparable, incapable of being corrected. Incorrigible, which cannot be believed. Incredible. Which cannot be cured. Incurable, incapable of being tired. Indefatigable. Which cannot be defended. Indefensible, which cannot be erased or forgotten. Indelible, compensation for loss. Indemnity, that which cannot be destroyed. Indestructible, angry at injustice. Indignant, not suitable for eating. Inedible, unable to be destroyed or removed. Ineradicable, a method which never fails. Inimitable, a method which never fails. Infallible, a method which never fails. Infallible, that which cannot be limited. Inimitable, that which cannot be limited. Inimitable, act of killing an infant. Infanticide, rebellious or opposing the authority. Insurgent, causing destruction to both sides. Internecine, very complicated, intricate, one who intervenes between two or more parties to settle difference. Intermediary, detaining and confirming something. Detaining or confining something. Internment, an indirect reference. Innuendo, that which is contrary to law. Illegal, handwriting which cannot be read. Illegible, one who is unable to read or write. Illiterate, too old to be remembered. Ancient beyond memory. Immemorial, about to happen. Imminent, that which never dies. Immortal, to harass someone persistently to do something. Importune, impossible to satisfy, change, or make less angry. Implacable, to confirm with the help of evidence. Implicate, lifeless objects. Inanimate, not of good omen. Inauspicious, to cause a process or action to begin. Initiate, inability to sleep. Insomnia, a narrow strip of land bordered on both sides by water, connecting two larger bodies of land. Isthmus, one who enters forcefully. Intruder, not connected. Irrelevant, belonging naturally to a place. Indigenous, the period between two rains. Interregnum, that which is bound to happen, inevitable. That which cannot be explained, inexplicable, capable of catching fire, inflammable, to fill with air or gas, inflate, action that is likely to make people very angry, inflammatory, relating to or characteristic of hell or the underworld, infernal, very clever, ingenious, property handed down after the death of a person, inheritance, existing in one from birth, innate, that which is quite harmless, innocuous, having or showing interest in learning things, curious हो जो, inquisitive, a small island, islet, that which cannot be satisfied, insatiable, write or carve words on stone or paper, inscribe, the class of people who think independently, intelligentsia, the class of people who think independently, intelligentsia, that which cannot be endured, intolerable, examination of one's mental processes, introspection, immediate apprehension by mind reasoning, intuition, the burial of corpse, interment, detailed plan of journey, itinerary, one who journeys from place to place, itinerant, that which cannot be wounded, invulnerable, that which cannot be repaired, irreparable, that which cannot be called back, irrevocable, animals without backbone, invertebrate, careful or thorough inquiry, investigation, to supply land with water by artificial means, irrigate, so good that no criticism can be made, irreproachable, with much livelihood, with much liveliness and a sense of purpose, with much liveliness and a sense of purpose, jauntily, a short trip or excursion for pleasure, jaunt, a young kangaroo, joy, wise sound, in judgment, judicious, suitable or intended only for young persons, juvenile, a body of persons appointed to hear evidence, to judge and give the verdict, jury, a newspaper or magazine that deals with a particular subject professionally, journal, art of writing for newspapers and magazines, journalism, an act of traveling from one place to another, journey, having or displaying an overly critical point of view, judgmental, placing a thing beside another for contrasting effect, juxtapose, placing a thing beside another for contrasting effect, juxtapose, an excessively desire to steal, kleptomania, a person who loves empty spaces, canomaniac, a loose gown of silk as worn in Japan, kimono, to give the right to put sir in front of one's name, knighthood, a dog's home, kennel, a crook, a dishonest person, knave, the sound of the funeral bell, knell, a tangled mass in something such as hair or wool, knot, A medicine that softens the bowels. Laxative, पेट साफ करने वाला. A legal agreement that allows someone to use a building or land for a period of time, usually is return for rent. Lease, causing death. Lethal, expressing in a few words. Laconic, a person who deserves praise. Laudable, a place where clothes are washed and ironed. A place where clothes are washed and ironed. Laundry, the study of lakes and other freshwater bodies. Limnology, to cover with thin sheets of metal or plastic. Laminate, saltwater lake separated from the sea by sandbanks. Lagoon, a person who compiles a dictionary. Lexicographer, person believing in free will. Libertarian, one who speaks many foreign languages. Linguist, a person involved in a lawsuit. Litigant, capable of being read clearly. Legible, of or like a lion. Leonine, a sly look that is lustful. Leer, tough and fibrous tissues in joints. Ligaments, people with knowledge of literature. Literati, a rich source of something. Lodge, to cut off a branch, limb or twig from the main body of a tree. Lope, a small mistake in an agreement or law that gives someone the chance to avoid having to do something. बचाव का रास्ता. Loophole, very poor or bad. Lousy, one who talks a lot. Loquacious, a pleasant song sung to send children to sleep. Lullaby, related to moon. Lunar. Mandible, मतलब the lower jawbone in mammals and fishes. जबड़ा. Mandible, the lower jawbone in mammals and fishes. Mandible.